In 2015, 343 Industries released Halo 5 Guardians, the sequel to Halo 4, from 2012. Despite this, a lot of stuff did not launch with the game, such as Forge and Infection. Although late, they're here to stay. However, this is not a fate all games shared. Halo 5 had a playlist that would shuffle in its social arena, ranging anywhere from a slightly different version of Slayer to full-on games created by the community. And among those games was an instant fan favorite, Castle Wars. Castle Wars was essentially Capture the Flag, except each base was a castle. Yeah, I know, huge surprise. Also, every player had an energy sword and a single plasma grenade. And who would have guessed that the smallest loadout would have led to the most damage? That is the simplest the game could get. Certain maps had extra items like overshield and camo, on top of branching paths, and of course, the dreaded vehicles. That led to you being team killed more often than the Marines on Silent Cartographer. With the inspiration of Luke the Notable and Rocket Sloth, I thought it would be fun to set out and play 100 games of Castle Wars. Sadly, it left circulation before I could even get to 15 games, and with Halo 5's player base being more dead than the Ravengers' hitboxes, there's little hope to make it to game 100. But then, I remembered a random video of Castle Wars I had saved on my computer for no reason. And now, I could stretch the number of games out to something that would be more appealing on a thumbnail. Here we are, Game 1, on the map I can't pronounce. On this map, there's a speed boost that spawns in either base, and you can see I tried to go for it here, but someone else got to it first. Then I ran out and was immediately killed by an across-the-map sticky grenade. Gotta say, that's honestly kind of impressive, and a warm welcome to the chaos. Not even 2 minutes in, someone on red team had gotten our flag, but despite how uncoordinated we are, we managed to get it back to our base. They definitely had a bigger push on us than we had on them. Sometimes I couldn't even leave the room before dying. I picked up an overshield and pulled off the jankiest play in Halo history, but that didn't last long. Even with dumb luck, you still won't get very far in Castle Wars. And getting very far is exactly what my teammate did, and we managed to relay the flag back to base, and I was the one who scored. Me and a teammate were able to get their flag and bring it to our side of the map, but red team just had a better push on our base, and this is the saddest example of that. They stole our flag, and because my team was either too busy staring at the wall or dying, we couldn't stop them. Red team was just playing better than us, way better, and even with a speed boost, I was only barely able to bring their flag to our base to score. And at the very least, we were able to tie the game, which, I mean, it's technically not a loss, but it's not a win either. Overall, the first game went really well, with the only issue being my teammates just not playing smart, and leaving the flag to return to base. I have a feeling this will become a theme in this video. Game 2 is on the most basic of maps, King's Pass, but at least this map gives us vehicles. The vehicles really only make you a bigger target, and when everyone has plasma grenades, you are basically asking for it. Literal seconds after the game starts, they already have their hands on our flag. This is not going to be good. We stopped them, but this is probably the most action we're going to see this game. One guy tried to get their flag, but once he touched the ground, it was over and there was very little I could do to help. A fun part about Castle Wars is that you can't damage your teammates with grenades, so we managed to make this guy flip twice in the air, and he landed it. Where was this last game? There's a guy on top of our base that was trying to bring the flag home, but at this point we had most of the map controlled, so he didn't have a lot of options. I got lucky when I managed to lunge to a guy after falling off the platform, and in that confusion, another red guy pushed his teammate off the map. Huh. Don't get me wrong, I like King's Pass, but the map could be a bit straightforward at times, and that gets a little boring. No one was scoring, or even getting close to it, and on this map, there aren't too many gimmicks or tricks to get the advantage. We stayed at a stalemate the whole time. This was another tie, but not because we were good. Game 3 is on the worst map in all of Castle Wars, but that wasn't going to stop me and Rose from driving up and taking the flag. First I took it, and I didn't get very far, but then I noticed Rose was still up there, so I played with the goal of causing a big enough distraction for them to grab the flag and run it home. And it worked! I got a kill-tacular! I also got 2 sticky grenade sticks, and then their flag was ours. After that, there is no way we could lose the... Wait, what? So now both teams have the other team's flag, and I am not joking when I say it stays like this for the entire game. If you're unaware, in most versions of Capture the Flag, in order to score, you need to have your own flag at base. It requires an even balance of defense and offense, and in Castle Wars, that's hard to come by. And if I could blame the map for a second, the turrets are annoying. I don't know whose idea it was to add a turret to a game with energy swords, but it was a bad idea. This map is like King's Pass, but instead of no gimmicks, the gimmicks are just working against you. I never had fun playing on this map. Literally nothing happened until the very end of the game. like the last seconds. And I don't know what happened. Our guy dropped the flag, I guess, and the person who picked it up fell off the map. They scored, and there's nothing we could do. Our first actual loss. Game 4 was on Necromancer's Keep. It's like King's Pass, but less forgiving. I have this strategy where I go to the top of the base and try to go behind enemy lines using the Cannon Man, and although it's not reliable, it is worth risking on a slow-moving game like this one. And to my surprise, it did work. I ran right past everyone and straight into their base, and then the footage cuts off. Checking my notes, it says that I grabbed the flag but died, and none of my teammates picked it up, so no one scored. Makes sense. This was a very low-energy game, and it ended with a low-effort tie. That was a short one. I guess we're going on to Game 5 now, back on the bad map, and I immediately got a Warthog, then waited, so some of the chaos would die down. My plan was to drive straight through, but like I said, this map doesn't allow fun. I'm gonna be honest with you, whenever I get this map, I usually quit out, but I decided to stay for the sake of content. But I was very out of it. And while writing some notes down, the enemy team grabbed the flag and scored. I again stopped to write something down and they scored again. I'm starting to think I'm the only reason things get done around here. Castle Wars is a team-based game, much like any other Halo game, but you could really feel it when players just aren't coordinated here. I have absolutely no idea how I survived that, but I'm going. We scored 1 point, so at the very least we won't lose horribly. Now I have the turret, and it's time for me to be the one everyone hates. We weren't able to score a second point and lost the game. Yeah, me too, guy. Me too. Game 6 is on Necromancer's Keep, so I'm guessing nothing happens. Yeah, this game is a whole lot of nothing. Half of it is just me trying to maximize my sneak strat and failing. While we're here, might as well explain what the sneak strat is. Like I said earlier, you run to the top of your castle, to the man cannons, and doing this takes about the same amount of time as just running to the middle of the map. The idea is to avoid the enemies rushing to your castle and fly behind them. I thought that if I did it enough times, I would eventually get this and walk in while they're either still behind me or respawning. It's not a foolproof tactic, but it has worked in the past and that's why I stuck with it. Near the end of the game, they grabbed our flag and we had control of the bridge, so that didn't last long. It was a very dead game though. No one scored. You don't realize how much of a whole lot of nothing happens in Castle Wars until you actually have to make a video on it. I mean, you only need 3 points to score, but coming across one is very, very hard. We are at Game 7. I'm hoping to get at least one win. Oh, it's Necromancer's Keep again. From the start of the game, they had a better push on us, and it didn't take long for them to get the flag. Their team was way more coordinated than mine, but coordination is no match for brute force. I decided to camp at their base and throw my team the flag, hoping that we could get a cycle here and have an easy comeback. The first throw bounced too much and fell off the map. Okay, that one's on me. The cool part about being the carrier is that you're the only one with a gun, but it's very weak. You have a better chance of having fun on the space map than killing with it. This time I threw the flag perfectly, but Thor, what are you doing? Thor, come on. This is why Hawkeye is one of my favorites. He wouldn't have missed that. Alright, let's try this again. Just gotta wait for my team to get here and, oh no. That was actually kind of impressive. Wait, what? If you listen closely, you could hear someone come up behind me and stick me with a plasma grenade. I panic boosted into the launcher, so at least we have a fighting chance. Bring it home, Thor. Or don't. That's fine. There's this thing I do where I throw the plasma grenade across the map. I don't know. It's just something to do while running to the other side. They scored again. You could probably guess that I'm gonna blame Thor. This guy grabbed the flag, then jumped to where their entire team was. I'm surprised that didn't work. Alright, my turn. I will say, everyone has been pretty godlike with the plasma grenades this match. Unfortunately, that is the only thing I have to show. Yep, lost. 2-0. The other team simply played better. Game 8, we are back on the map from Game 1, but this time I got the speed boost, which means I die faster. Our team managed to get the flag and we had a little war over it, but I just grabbed it and ran. We all passed it back and forth small distances because that's how close Red Team was to getting it back. Now I'm back in rotation and I capped it off. There's something about capture the flag, and this is why I was so mad at Thor. You only have a couple seconds to grab the flag once it's been dropped before it gets returned back to its base, and the enemy team can speed up that clock by standing next to it. Sometimes it is better to just grab it and get that extra 5 feet in. Not only does it reset the time, but it brings it closer to someone else who could run it after you. Guaranteed if we had done this last game, we would have scored at least once, so I'm trying to learn from my mistakes. We might be good at capturing a flag, but defending it, that's a different story. Red team tried to sneak a second capture, but my team got him this time. The entire rest of the game was like this. No one could do anything, both teams were playing just good enough to ensure that no flags were harmed, and in the end, it was another tie. But if it counts for anything, that was at the top of the scoreboard. Game 9. We are on easily the best map in the entire playlist. I have a really good feeling about this one. There are several reasons why this map is superior. Number 1, the Prophet's Bane. It makes you a ghost, and I managed to snag it here. Big thanks to my partner for pushing me forward, I guess. Kate, you're my partner. Your mess is my mess. Your sword is my sword. The Prophet's Bane is a legendary weapon variant that's wielded by the Arbiter, and here it makes you invisible. So as soon as I mashed X to pick it up, I ran back to keep the sword out of the wrong hands. This sword is basically a win button. It makes my sneak strat look like a joke. I literally just walked in. I also avoided combat because you don't want to risk being seen by a second person. Most of them were in groups, so I kept to myself, much like high school. Reason number 2 on why this map is top tier is because of the branching pathways. You aren't forced to just the bridge, which makes it a lot easier to both enter and exit a base, and in my opinion, you need that to keep the gameplay fresh and stop you from getting bored. There is also a speed boost at the top of the map that makes the Skyway practically unfair. I would like to say that I scored on my own, but I totally would have ate it here if my teammate didn't help me. I did the same thing again, except I let this guy run the flag so I could stay behind and get the easy triple cap when the flag comes back after scoring. They had a guy get our flag, but he must have been not feeling it today. Flag's back, here we go. I gave it to this guy, but when I saw he didn't take the Skyway, I jumped down to guard him. And this is the guy that killed the red dude before and saved me, so I'm happy to bring it full circle and have his back. And for once, for the first time in 9 games, we played perfectly as a team. Not a single person got through. I even got a kill Apocalypse. That is 9 kills in a row. I got 9 kills with the Prophet's Bane. It was almost a Killionaire, but that's impossible to pull off with a sword already, so I guess near impossible is just as big of an achievement. And to top it all off, we won 3-0, and I even finished at the top of the leaderboard. Comeback of the century. Killed by no one. The third reason that this map is cool is because each base has shade turrets, which spices up both offense and defense. Hawkeye references aside, we are now on to Game 10, which is on Necromancer's Keep. I guess they're trying to balance out my luck here. As you can see, we're off to a great start. I tried to run the flag, but I was being trailed pretty hard, so as soon as that reduced speed hit me, I was gone. Nothing interesting is happening this game, so there is little to talk about. However, I encountered something weird, where I traded with this guy and the game registered that he killed me twice, but not that I killed him. There is no other way he died, and I got a bolt true, which is to kill a lunging player. I guess I could go on a rant about how the sword lunges feel inconsistent, but like I said in my last Halo video, my internet is dog water, so who knows. Made a cool trick shot, and then sat AFK for the rest of the match. Is probably out taking the trash. And because I was out taking the trash, I missed Game 11, and got a wake up John for inactivity. I obviously don't have clips for this, but I did manage to get the Carnage report, and it didn't look like fun. It was on Hailstone, which would have been a cool map to play on in this video, but as you could see, my team got ripped. 3-0. Kinda glad I wasn't there. Oh, but do you see that? Up there in the corner? That's right. Game 12 is on the good map. The video file is actually called Game 13, but it's gonna be called Game 12 now, since I found the other Castle Wars video and I don't want to confuse anyone. Or myself. At the start of the match, someone threw a grenade and launched the Prophet's Bane off the map. Honestly, that was a good call. Red team looked like they would have gotten it first. That guy did us a favor. Great! Now I actually have to play the game. I told you, those things are a great defense. I want you guys to watch this closely, okay? The guy doesn't have full shields, and I'm looking right at him. The reticle turns red, but the lunge doesn't happen and I die. How does that one work? This game was moving a bit slow, but then we got a carrier who was doing the grab and launch strat, so I ran down and picked it up. Luckily, my team was just approaching, and I don't think I would have lasted long without them. Never mind, spoke too soon. But at least my team was there to continue pushing the flag. And remember what I said about not trying to fight and just grabbing it and going? We all started doing that, and those extra 5 feet gave everyone enough time to respawn and continue defending. And we scored. The flag thrower immediately picked it up and sent it out again right as a Prophet's Bane was respawning. There's a war brewing here at the bridge. Yep, they have their flag back. Our flag and the sword. Yeah, they scored and the invisible dude is still out there. But thankfully our throwing guy is still up there, and we would be able to get the flag back to our base, now that the only thing that stands in the way of that is... oh. Okay, cool. Less than a minute left. If they could score, then we win, and the game ends. But if they don't, the game goes into overtime, and red team has a second chance. It got down to the wire, but we ended up scoring. There was nothing they could do, even with this guy's suspicious amount of precision. They wouldn't be able to run it back in time. 2-1, our second victory of 12 games. Guess this map's just good luck. Game 13, I'm feeling unlucky. Now, the thing about these games from the other file is that I spoke in them. I guess I was trying to make a different video. The beginning of this match was very explosive. Red team was going for our flag, and it took them a couple tries, but they eventually got it. At about the same time, I had the speed boost, so I infiltrated their base, but because of several misinputs, I didn't get far with the flag. I just noticed this, but I'm on blue team a lot. I tried doing the sneak strat because this map is half cannon man, but I ran into some enemies and got stuck on a wall. Another gimmick this map has is an energy sword variant. It's the Vorpal Talon, if that's how you say it. It's not as good as the Prophet's Bane, in fact nowhere near it, but it allows you to use the boost twice, and when combined with the speed boost, it becomes rather unfair rather quickly. That is, if you're good. Sadly, even with the power of speed boosts, the Vorpal Talon, and real-time commentary, I just want to see how far I can do. Not very far. We weren't able to pull a victory. This was a relatively short game, which shows that a real method in Castle Wars is to score as soon as possible and then just block the opponents for 9 minutes. Game 14, I was lucky enough to join a game. Yeah, at the very least, no one scored yet, so I didn't come in at a disadvantage. And if I do manage to score, I'll look like a hero. Alright, so my plan is basically to just sit up here until a lot of people are rushing our base, and then I basically fly behind enemy lines. Like I said, it doesn't work too often. It's worked like once or twice. You know, the funny part is that I wrote all that stuff about the strat before watching this clip, and I practically said the same exact words. If it's one thing, it's consistent. The real struggle of sneaking is that you will show up on the radar, and it's a game of chance that one of those red dots won't just turn around and kill you while you're still stuck in the end lag. But if they don't, someone else usually will. I just realized I never touched on the vehicles and their role in the gameplay loop. People are relentless in these things, and at times there will be stockpiles in the middle of the bridge. What I like to do is wait a little, give time for the destroyed mongooses to disappear and the players to scatter, which, to my surprise, worked here. While my enemies were distracted from obliterating my passenger, I ran up to throw the flag and they actually ran it home. That's how you do it, Thor. After making a pretty stupid Star Wars joke. Alright, cool. So I'm the Rey of this game. Some guy thought he could challenge me. Red Moon Knight. That's comedic timing born through time and space right there. I guess he didn't like that though, as he sent me a message through Xbox chat. Oh boy, here we go. Get good. He must have blacked out for a second there. Now he's just spewing random BS. One of the worst feelings in Castle Wars is getting so far and so close to the objective and then dying to a trade. I want to show you guys this clip to really express how much of a risk the vehicles are in this game mode and put an emphasis on just how lucky the Warthog run was at the start of the match. I guess I'm driver. I wanted to be passenger. We're dead. Even when you aren't driving them, the mongooses still find a way to kill you. It's impressive. At this point, red team had no time left to score, and I finished the game with a chaotic drive on the bridge. Game 15 is back on the double boost map, and it started out more unfortunate for some than others. They really hit us hard. They got our flag and then barricaded our exit, so we really couldn't do anything. The only way out was the sneak strat, and it didn't really work very well. Enemy team scored. Why is there... Where did that come from? We were able to have a slight pushback, but they still had enough to get the flag again. Carrier must have let the overshield get to his head. What the frick? I'm so confused. How did I die? That man killed 4 of us with 1 grenade. I don't know what was happening this game, but I must have hit the bad switch before it started. They scored again, and at this point we would have had to score twice within 4 minutes just to tie the game. Little did we know that they didn't just have a flag runner, but also a flag thrower, and with that, we lost. Wiped the floor. Game 16, this video is now old enough to drive. Game 16 is back on King's Pass, and I'm gonna guess that only 1 score for the entire game. I don't even know how that killed me. It was on the other side of the Warthog. I tried to use vehicles, but my attempts just got cut shorter and shorter, and it doesn't help that hitting someone just messes up everything. I'm gonna take this diseased Warthog and see how far and there it goes. This game was not my friend. Even my teammates were working against me. However, just because I couldn't get it doesn't mean my teammates had to share the same fate. Flipping carrier. Oh, he's dead. No, he's not. Keys. Keys ran up there and started to throw the flag down to us, and on the first attempt, I just wasn't fast enough. Keys threw the flag again, and I drove the mongoose to pick up the carrier. Nice. We made it to the castle, but so did blue team, and they killed the carrier. It got down to the wire. Less than a minute left, and they were right behind us. Luckily, we had just enough people to outnumber them, and with the helpful Spartan charges of a few teammates, I scored in style, proving my prediction correct and winning the game. Game 17, we're on a new map. This map is a waste of recording time. In the recording, I don't sound too pleased, but right now I am happy to talk about something that's not why Necromancer's Keep is terrible. Hailstone. This map has a lot of gimmicks. It's the only snow map, which is cool. Both bases spawn with an energy sword variant that attacks faster. That's what this guy is running for here. But what everyone else is running for is the active camo. Our guy got it, then died, so that sucks. Then I respawned to see half my team hanging out with an AFK guy. Great. Red team immediately had a push on our base, like it was hard. The thing about Hailstone... The thing about Hailstone is that the bridge is a lot smaller and not as smooth compared to other maps, which the vehicles are even more of a hit or miss on this. If Artie here was as good at driving as he was at designing clothes, we might have stood a chance. This time, I'm driving, and I actually got in, although it was a bumpy ride. There is no fancy way out of this base, because it's less of a castle and more of a hole in the wall, so you just have to jump and pray. I made it halfway before they caught up and returned the flag because my teammates refused to play good. I began to question my role in the universal conundrum that is Halo 5 Castle Wars, but then a new purpose was manifested. Remember what I said about using invisibility earlier on the God map? Well, I didn't take my own advice and attacked people, then got spotted, and then was killed. There was a guy who got up there and threw the flag down 3 times, but our team was just out of it.
Enemies return their flag.
It didn't help that they had the home field advantage, but no one was playing smart and they returned it all 3 times. Amidst the glorious chaos, I stole this warthog and drove right in. I took advantage of my team finally pushing forward and took the flag, then ground pounded past everyone. This guy even showed up in a warthog. What a hero. That didn't last long, but someone else picked up the flag, so we're still okay. I defended this man and boosted him up to the flag, but we only had 40 seconds left. But it's fine, that was more than enough time. We were even able to get the flag and throw it out again. Another victory, but with my track record, this might be our last one of the video. Game 18, King's Pass again. Now, what you're about to see is the main reason why I never deleted this clip. Remember when I said that Castle Wars leads to chaos? Well, here's my best example of that. Alright, boys and girls, we're back on King's Pass. Just have to kill the game to get some biodiversity in here. What is going on? What is this? I'm just gonna take this mug. It seems like this. What the heck? How are we losing already? If making this video has shown me anything, it's that I do miss the days of Halo 5. I wasn't very good at the game, and I don't think I need to prove that to you anymore, but these clips remind me of the fun that could still be had, even in what is considered to be the worst of the series. Are we about to score? What, since when? And at the end of all that chaos, we scored. And in the video, you could hear me say that I wanted to get 3 captures without the enemy team even getting 1. I want a 3-0. Let's see if we can make that possible. It seemed possible with this guy on the inside, but he quickly got dealt with. Great, now I actually have to play the game. I have a habit of letting people pass me when I get focused on something like a vehicle, and the guy I let pass got the flag and made it pretty far, but at this time we had the bridge, so he was quickly dealt with. After he died, our own guy felt it was safe enough to come down, so my job is to stop people from getting past the middle. I'm gonna let you in on a secret for this game mode that no one plays anymore. It's all about controlling the bridge, specifically the middle. From there, you could stop people from getting your flag and also stop them from getting back to theirs. Here, we were losing control, and the enemy took advantage of that. Although the first carrier was the receiver of an accidental show of great teamwork. From there, we fought an army as we moved through the castle. It was looking rough, but my teammate had my back and gave me enough time to run up to the top. It was like a boss fight to get our flag back, but this other guy that was camping at the top of their base for some reason jumped down to help me. Then they returned the flag, letting us score again. At this point, it was over. Even if they can score this run, they didn't have enough time to do it again. We didn't get the 3-0 victory, but a victory is a victory. Oh boy, we're almost there. Game 19 is on the space map. Oh, nope, never mind. I told you I usually quit out, and this was before I made the push for content. The sad part is that there was this guy I was playing with for the entirety of these older games, and now that's over. I will carry them on in spirit. Now it's time for Necromancer's Keep. I want to say we had a good push on them, but to be honest, I don't know what this is. I decided to give up halfway through and just reverted to the sneak strat. Really? I knew that was too easy. Someone got the flag, but dined. He went out for dinner. Someone got the flag, but died soon after, and even a reset wasn't enough time for us to carry it back. A risky move you could pull when you're trying to get around people on the bridge is to jump off of it. With the advanced movement mechanics in Halo 5, you could stall long enough and then thrust back on the bridge. The bridge is a place of chaos, but by far the most chaotic parts are the ones that happen off of it. One thing I forgot to mention about King's Pass and Necromancer's Keep is that there are these structures that allow you to skip part of the path up to the top. The drawback is that you have to use clamber, and sometimes you miss, plus the move is slow. Plus race. When there are people chasing you like there are here, it's better to just run the full course and try to cut corners where you can. I tried the Warthog again, and for a second it looked like it was gonna work. Then I got caught in a wall, and they caught up to me. The only downside to pushing in on a base is that they respawn and get to you faster. No one was advancing, and we were able to go into overtime, so I decided to play a little bit differently. I can't rely on this game for content anymore. I have to do stupid stuff. Oh frick, too stupid. They can't kill me now. I mean, if I'm not facing them, I'm not going head on. They can't kill me. We're going into overtime. It doesn't matter. Please let me go through. All part of the plan. The mongoose did not fare as well. Words. It's working so far, it's working a lot better. See, I already avoided damn, dead. It seems I have ditched the main objective in favor of doing dumb, stupid things. I'm just taking what the game gives me at this point. This time it went well. I got to the flag, then all sensible gameplay stopped. Yeah, no one's scoring, but this game feels like I won something. I want the flag in my hand when the game ends. At the very least, I managed that. Is this really it? Game 20? The end of the journey that has been taking too long? We are in the end game now. It was Hailstone, but I guess I didn't want that. Well, while we're here, one thing I wanted to say about Emma Stone, the one thing I wanted to say about Hailstone, but didn't, is that it had something that the other maps didn't. Teleporters. In the middle of the bridge on either side, there are these things, and if you jump through one, you come out the other. They're actually kind of useless. The real Game 20 is on Necromancer's Keep. My god! Goated God Map of Greatness would have been better, but whatever. It did not start off great, but let's be honest, did you expect it to? They got our flag and not even Odin could stop them. Alright, it is 1-0, and we can't even get past Middle Bridge. What the heck? The gimmick of this map is that it has a gravity hammer. I don't know how I went this whole video without mentioning that, but here we are. I was lucky enough to get it, and then pretended I was Thor until I maybe got too close to where they spawn. Speaking of which, I rode shotgun with Odin, and out of the two of us, he was the one that made it in. I guess he would be the better one at invading things. Some dude was Tokyo drifting, and I put a stop to that, but at a cost. We did not score once this game, and for Game 20, the final game, we lost. It doesn't matter. It's about the journey anyways. And this journey is officially over. Making this video has reminded me of what I appreciate the most about Castle Wars, and that is the chaotic and unpredictable nature of the game. Sure, the game can get dull if nothing really happens, and if you aren't paired with the right team, then it could get frustrating too. However, Castle Wars was a game that you played to have fun, more than you did to win. I think this video is a perfect example of that. I hope to see more like it in the future. Games that match the creativity. When Halo Infinite custom games get here, if they get here, we may even find the next Castle Wars. Another thing that added to the overall chaos was Halo 5's mechanics. With stuff like Spartan Charge and Ground Pound, it prevented the game from just being running and swinging at people. You could mix up the gameplay. All in all, I think Castle Wars was a solid game mode, and revisiting it here was fun. I hope you had as much fun watching this video as I did making it. That being said, I do have another video where I play a game a set amount of times that has been sitting on the back burner for like 3 years now, so maybe I'll finally get to finishing that. That's really all I have to say. I do want to credit Luke the Notable and Rocket Sloth again for giving me this idea, and I guess if Luke could end his videos by saying stay notable, then it only makes sense that I end mine by saying stay grand. See you guys in the next one.